All right, we are live. I got my main man and coach Float Locker here. It's been a while since we did one of these videos. Just gonna come to you guys, let you guys know what we're thinking of the markets, maybe a few yield farming strategies, kind of give you an update on what we've been doing, just see where the conversation goes. Float Locker, how you doing today, man?
Doing good, Vince. Thanks for having me on.
No problem, man. Thanks for jumping on, man.
Chat about the market, see what's going on.
Yeah, man. So let's start with just like a general market update. We haven't done these calls in I feel like almost 2 months, definitely over a month. And we've seen the market just kind of go on this tear. As far as I'm concerned, if we're back in a bull market, I think it's a chance that we may be in the beginning stages. But regardless of that, I wouldn't be surprised if we had like another leg down. So I still got some cash on the sidelines. Reason why I say that is because, eventually, like the Fed can't keep rates this high. And we've never seen crypto exist in a high rate environment like this. So eventually something's going to break because people can't, all the money that they borrow, they're not going to be able to just, revenues dropping. People aren't going to be able to afford this debt for a long time, or companies, I should say. So I feel like something's going to happen to where the Fed's going to have to start lowering. They might keep things paused for a while, but something breaks, they're going to have to lower. And history shows that whenever they lower rates, it signals that something's broken. And then although people are like, oh, they're going to lower rates, everything's going to be great, that's actually when we see the market bottom. But that's for stocks. For crypto, the reason why I'm not sure is because, you have the 4-cycle theory at play. You have a lot of narratives that could, spark a bull rally, layer twos, ZK rollups, GameFi, even DeFi and real world assets. So,
Yeah.
And then you got the halving as well. So and the BlackRock ETF. So it's just a lot of people think that's going to get approved in January. So as far as I'm concerned, I have no idea what's going to happen. Like I said, I do think there could be one more leg down, and then after that, we kind of start to make our way back up. The halving is going to happen in a few months here. So I'm positioned so that if things drop, I have some cash to take advantage of some projects that I have my eye on, which we can get into. But if not, I'm also positioned to where, we can make some money when things go up. What's your take on that? And where are you positioned in the market? What's your thoughts, man?
I think I mentioned this before, but I've been bullish, just macro bullish since January of 2023, all through the bear market. More protective hedging, not really going in heavy on any long positions, especially in crypto. But yeah, this year I've been primarily long biased, and especially what was it in August? In August, I did take off my long position, and that was actually around. I'm primarily in Ethereum.
Your leverage long position, you're saying?
No, I don't do like leverage
just spot
trading.
Just spot long.
My spot longs, yeah. Leverage. I'll leverage trade once in a while, but it's got to be like
convicted. Yeah, for sure.
A lot of conviction. Yeah. Just a lot of people get wrecked. Look at this move we had in Bitcoin. That dump on Sunday. Bunch of people got liquidated. And it's a shame because they were probably super bullish, but now they're not.
Yeah.
Right on the sidelines, right? So, you don't want to get taken out of the game this early. It's going to be volatile. We're going to see corrections. The market is efficient, and it's like a fundraiser. It's a fundraiser, right? Companies, like in the stock market, companies are raising funds through the stock market. They need to sell investors on why it's important to invest with them, right? Or give them a reason to invest with them, right? And to take their money out of their pocket, right? And invest it into their company. So I just feel that, during the early stages of a bull market, you still got players accumulating, looking for ways to capitalize and, accumulate even more, right? As much as they can, right? And that was pretty apparent in the bear market, especially around, where Bitcoin kind of bottomed out. We don't know if that's the bottom, but there was a lot of volume, a lot of accumulation there. And I know, anyone that's been in crypto knows that these corrections, I mean, you could see, 30, 40, even 50% corrections. I don't know about 50% in this day and age, but it's definitely possible, especially in altcoins. But
Yeah.
but yeah, so like my position right now, I got long in October, just spot long ETH. I'm still long. I've been long since 1500 Ethereum. That's where I'm primarily in. I got some Bitcoin too, and in addition to that, what I've been doing is I have taken my Ethereum position, I've lent it out on Aave, and then I take a loan, a USDC loan out, and then I farm liquidity pools to generate yield on top of my spot long position. So in a way, it's a leverage long, right? But it's primarily there to generate yield, pay off the loan, and then over time, I could build a bigger bag, right? So
What positions are you farming in? What's that? Is you said you use your ETH as collateral, you borrowed some stable coins. Are
yeah,
you on Uni V3? What positions are you if you don't mind sharing? Are you
yeah.
generating income to pay off the loan?
Yeah, I use Enzyme. I use Enzyme Finance. I can actually pull it up if you want
Yeah. Feel free to
to
share the
share
screen.
it. Here's the vault that I run, and I've been running it for pretty much a year now. It's been almost or shit, it's been a year. Yeah, it's been a year as of December 9th. Yeah, it's the vault's birthday. So
Nice.
yeah, I stay spot long, and then I take out so what I do is I farm yields, and then the majority of my yields go into this pool right here, this Bitcoin ETH pool. In addition to that, this here is a loan on Aave. Here, I just farm a liquidity pool. So this one here this one's a newer pool. So what happened? It's funny that we had that dump on Sunday. On Friday, I opened up a new loan. I actually closed out the loan. I was farming it for about a month, right? I was using the loan to farm. So about a month I farmed, and I generated about 8 to 9% in yield against my loan. And I borrowed about 50%. My loan was 50% of the value of my collateral. So it was about 3 to 4% gain in yield over the course of a month, on top of the Ethereum gains, right? So it's just a little extra, it's actually a pretty nice chunk, nice chunk on top in addition to what you're gaining in the market, right? So I wanted to stay long Ethereum. I didn't want to be out of the market, or in case like I get blown out of my liquidity pool ranges and be stuck chasing or just not being in the market. So this was a better option for me to just generate some yields on top of the spot long position. But
Now,
on the Sunday, yeah.
what's your range for the ETH chain link? Because I was thinking about entering one from like, what is it at $15 right now? I was thinking of entering one from the downside because it's been hitting that resistance from like 15 to 10. But I'm
Oh
curious
yeah.
your thoughts on what's your range on that one?
So when Ethereum hit its high, or sorry, yeah, when Ethereum hit the high of like 2,400, I closed out the loan, and then I left it. I was about to, take some profits, but then the market looked pretty stable. It just didn't feel like it had that. When I watched the tape and just watched like how volume is playing, how price action is playing, it just didn't feel like it was that final squeeze, capitulating short squeeze, right? With Bitcoin. So it hit 45K, then it chopped around, and then we had that dump on Sunday. Well, on Friday, I decided to reopen the loan, and then from Friday night till Sunday night, I generated an extra 2% on top of my on my
Nice.
loan. And then of course the market dumped. Now I'm in a full bag of Link here, right? And now I'm playing the opposite side. The way I was playing it was a single-sided liquidity pool. I set it up to where at the time Link was trading around $17. I set my liquidity pool range from 1660 down to 1580, I believe, just kind of take advantage of this congestion if price got back down there, which it did pretty much the whole weekend. And then and then we had this dump, and then now I'm just kind of setting up my liquidity pools to farm with a full bag of ETH without taking on impermanent loss in case price reverts, right? So this one was open, I think, yesterday. And as you can see, it hasn't been in range much, only earned $100 over the course of a day. But yeah, this is like the reason why I have it this wide is in case, and that's where a lot of people make mistakes with UniV3 is that they set up too tight of a liquidity pool, and if price mean reverts, they get stuck with locking in those losses, right? Or end up chasing or never recovering those losses. So all that yield was for nothing. So what I would rather do is earn a little bit of yield in the meantime until I could get price back in range and then get to a point where I can tighten back up my liquidity pools without taking on too much or even any impermanent loss.
That's the way to do it, right?
So that's the idea, right? So I wish I would have waited, but in the same time I did earn an extra 2%. But now I'm like, now I'm in this I don't mind holding Link, but I'm now on my heels, right? I'm playing on this, I've got I definitely don't have the upper hand here, but just waiting and just seeing where price wants to oscillate and trade. And then maybe if price continues to chop or wants to chop, I will probably go tighter and look for ranges where I'm like, okay, price is breaking out. I need to readjust and get back into the market to where I don't take on too much impermanent loss on this position, right? So that's the tricky part. So either I stay wide and chill, or B, I could go tight and risk it. And if the market decides to mean revert back up, I will have to adjust quickly. So that's
Or you can always do a mixture of both too. There's always that option as well. That's what I like to do. Make like little liquidity tranches, and I'll put like the least amount in my tightest range.
That's good. No,
Good way to play it too. Man, I'm definitely bullish on Link, especially this cycle. I feel like they may be one of the leading players in the whole real world asset narrative. So yeah, that's it's not a bad position, man. I know we were talking the other day and you were telling about a few things happening in Cosmos with yield farming or whatever the case may be. Did you want to maybe touch on that? Some things going on there?
Yeah, man. I'm actually that ecosystem, the Cosmo ecosystem, I'm pretty bullish on it. I wasn't paying too much attention to it till a few months ago when they launched concentrated liquidity on Osmosis. So now you could do the same thing you're doing on Uniswap, but on the Cosmos ecosystem. And the liquidity of these pools are growing slowly but surely. And then as being in the space, I do work on some projects that are in the space in that ecosystem regarding concentrated liquidity. And it just being in that space and working in there, you start kind of just looking around and seeing, oh, well, you run into projects and you're like, oh, what's this do? What is this about? Right. You find new projects, and, I'm pretty bullish on a few projects on there. Few of them, one of them is Neutron. I just like the idea. It's a possibility that it could be what Atom isn't, right? Or what Atom should be, right? And it's a very low it's a brand new project, so very risky. But I was looking at Axelar, even Atom itself, right? Like, and just there's a lot of things that are in development that can bring the Cosmo ecosystem like to the forefront, right? And the whole interconnected blockchains, right? They're really ramping things up. So as far as a where I'm putting my money it's definitely the Cosmo ecosystem. So I'm pretty bullish on there. And then and then from there, your L2s, which I got, Matic, Arbitrum, Optimism, right? You gotta have some of those.
Definitely.
Of course, Ethereum. And then you go on to more micro caps, like you said, GameFi, going on from there, but But yeah, that's kind of like where my head's at on the market.
Oh yeah, man. I'm just pulling up I'm trying to pull up Cosmos on DeFi Llama. Are they on DeFi Llama? So it says that the TVL is only 2.2 million. I know that's not right because they don't have osmosis on here. But I'm wondering if they track like this because they allow you to build your own chain and maybe they don't see that as within the ecosystem. Because I know they have more than this locked in there. But I'm actually really bullish on the Cosmos ecosystem as well. I know a lot of Cosmos guys out here in San Francisco. I go to a lot of their events. They're really focused on building and not so much on like price. Yeah, man. I want to start researching the Cosmos ecosystem more. I like the Atom token. I just wish that they had it set up to where when the project did well, the token, there was some use for the token that made it do well as well, other than just like the narrative aspect. As far as me, I'm holding some ETH, obviously, holding some cash, Arbitrum Optimism, some Pendle, and I have my eyes on a few other projects that I'm kind of just waiting to correct, like Maple Finance, start researching Goldfinch. Like I really feel like the real world asset Chainlink. I really feel like the real world asset narrative is going to be huge in this next coming bull market. Yeah, and I'm also
like tokenized, like say tokenized real estate, tokenized.
I don't know about tokenized real estate yet, but like just other assets, like Chainlinks. I've been following them like heavy. They're in communications with a lot of banks. They're partnered with Swift and the DTCC, which is I think it's the Depository Trust Clearing Corporation. And that's the company that clears like all asset settlements in the United States. They're talking about getting on chain. So I feel like they're planting these roots, and pretty soon something's gonna sprout out of the ground, and the tree's gonna grow really, really fast, and we're not gonna be able to predict it or see it. But they're talking to some of the biggest companies in the world, man, and getting them on chain. And once the United States hopefully gets things figured out, I feel like they'll see why it makes sense to have like US treasuries on chain and like using stable coins to increase the strength of the dollar, because that's just going to allow for people to access credit more, but using our debt, which is what we want. So, and then, I've been talking about Radix as well. All their fundamentals are trending upwards. So I'm exposed to some projects in their ecosystem. I like OxySwap. I like Caviar 9. I like Photon. And I actually just put like a super, super small position on this project called Gable Finance. And they're like, it's almost like Aave on Radix. They do flash loans, but the only difference with them is when you stake your Radix, they have their own validator. They're one of the top validators. So it's like you get money from being a validator. You get a liquid stake derivative token for that. You can use that as collateral and earn almost like double earn. It would be like if Aave had like an Ethereum validator node to where you can stake your ETH there. Now you're staking on the Beacon chain. You get that liquid stake derivative token and you can supply it on Aave and make money and use it as collateral. So it's a couple projects in the Radix ecosystem that are a little different. And I think that's cool because their programming language allows you to do things a little different. So I'm really expecting that ecosystem to pop. So I'm staying in tune with that. But yeah, man.
There's definitely room for there's room for improvement for the even the large caps out here, right? Like, like Ethereum's great, but we definitely need some better scaling solutions.
Yeah.
Faster transactions, all this stuff, right? Like, and that's the thing is like I believe we're in this part of the market where the majority of the bad news, the potential, like anything bad that could have happened, from the past bull market, the majority and the main components and the main, just these main issues have been, I'd say, like either buttoned up or in the process of being, just finalized, right? And I think it's more risky, just especially if anyone listening that's bullish on crypto, it's more risky not to be exposed to the market right now. Yes, we'll see dips. If you're long-term bullish, not just trading the market, trying to, I I feel like you just buy and hold right now. You know, projects that you like, you find good prices, you buy at those prices. As long as the narrative and the fundamentals and the whole thesis of your investment doesn't change, who cares where the price goes, right? Like if price goes lower, buy some more, right? You know, that's the way I look at it. And if you're bullish on crypto, you just cannot afford to not have any exposure right now. Because like you said, you know, it feels like the beginning of a new bull market, but like we saw Sunday, a lot of bulls got liquidated. So you don't want to be overexposing, leveraging. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you could get wiped out before this thing even starts, you know?
Yeah, I was looking on Twitter and someone made a post. There's like $5 billion that'll be liquidated and leveraged longs if Bitcoin hits 33K. So yeah, that's another thing. And I'm just like, you know, it only takes a couple guys to manipulate this market if we're keeping it real. You know, that's another thing you
There's
have to
some
be
big
aware of.
players now in the space, you know, so they can move the market.
Yeah,
It's not
exactly. Because like
regulated, right?
that's another thing to keep in mind. Like when you're thinking about risk management, it's like, yeah, the fundamentals are strong, all these things, but there's one person or there's a few people out there that if they decide they want to get the price to a certain level, they can. I mean, I kind of look at it as like holding a beach ball underwater. Like, you know, you can hold it in there for a certain amount of time, but eventually
Yeah.
it's going to pop out. But just keep in mind that, you know, this thing can go back down. So definitely I wouldn't use leverage right now. I'm not using any leverage right now until like I get a strong confirmation that the momentum's there, the volume's there. It depends on what's happening with the Fed. Like it's a lot of things that has to meet up perfectly for me to use leverage because you don't really need it. You can make a lot of money in crypto that the same returns you can get from using leverage in stocks, you can make in crypto spot. So
Absolutely, man.
so yeah, that's where I'm at, man. So yeah, just position. I'm excited. I'm hoping it's a bull market, but at the same time, I'm hoping it's not, so I can raise more capital and make
Yeah.
as much money as I can. So it's like no matter what happens, man, I'll be good.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Like if we trade sideways, you know, we could just
Keep
always
farming
yield
those
farm,
yields. Yep.
stack,
Keep
you
farming
know,
those yields.
compound and, you know, grow the bag, right? So when it's time, you know, you be ready. Yeah, that's you know, it'd be nice to see price go up, but then at the same time it's like, you know what, let's
Accumulate a
I
little
like to
more.
accumulate more. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep. Same here. Same here.
But yeah, that's kind of my view on the market and you know what I'm doing. So uh yeah, that's where my head's at. Yeah, are you trading like in the traditional finance like stocks? You doing any you
Coinbase.
buying
Bro, I think, you know, I'm glad you brought that up. You know, it used to be like my view of the standard safe portfolio has changed. Like it used to be, they say 40% BTC, 30% ETH, and maybe 10% cash, the rest altcoins. I will go out and I'm going out on a whim and saying now a safe idea, an idea of a safe portfolio. If you don't have time to do a bunch of research on altcoins, this isn't how my portfolio is set up. But if someone asks me like, man, what are the top 3 projects I survived? I would say like maybe 20% BTC, 20% ETH, or maybe 25% BTC, 25% ETH, and 25% Coinbase. And the reason why I say that is because when, and I say when because we know a Bitcoin ETF is going to get approved eventually. And once one does, I believe, you know, the SEC is not going to want to look biased, so they're going to approve multiple ones. Coinbase is the custodian for like what 9 out of 10 of those ETF applications. They make
Yep.
money from USDC, and stablecoins is the best business model in crypto. Tether makes more money than ETH. They make more money than any project in the whole crypto ecosystem for those fees because they have those stable coins and they use it to buy like US treasuries and they're not passing along that yield. So they're getting free yield. And then they're also a validator for ETH. So they're making money off the staking rewards. They're making money from their trading fees. They're making money from Coinbase wallet. They have Base on chain, built on optimism. So it's like, man, Coinbase is just turning into an octopus. They're spreading across the globe. They're not just in the United States.
Yeah.
So I think that's easily $1,000 stock in the next bull market. Easy
Yeah.
10x. So that's the only stock I'm buying right now is Coin.
Man, I had some coin at $40, man, but I sold it at 80. and then
Hey man, at least
and
you
it
made it
kept
doubled
going.
your money, bro. I said at least you doubled your money, man.
Yeah,
But
but I
that's a
know
long
it's like,
play for me,
yeah,
bro.
I was
That's
like, man, this will pull back, but yeah, it hasn't looked back, man. So it's just kind of like, I would like some right now. I have some Coinbase in my long term portfolio, so it's okay, but it's just not enough of what I want, right? So
yeah. Every time I get
yeah,
paid, I go Fidelity. Boom. Don't even think about it. I'm just gonna keep stacking that for years, man. That's gonna be one of the ones that you know. That's gonna be one
yeah.
of them ones.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. It's like, even though I trade and all this is kind of like, they've proven that the best investor, the most profitable investor is someone that used to invest but is no longer on this planet, right? Like
Hmm.
say like you've had a portfolio, you've been investing, you pass away, they have the best performing portfolios because they just don't touch it, right?
I did not know that. That's interesting.
Yeah. The best investors are dead people, right? So
And the second best are the long term ones.
yes, long term, maybe you fiddle with it a little bit, but that's the thing, man. That's what it shows. Like you just buy like good companies, or even just stick with the index and just compound, man. And that's it. A lot of new traders, they come on, and especially like I'm seeing in a lot of discords, they're now excited.
Yeah,
They're
your
they're
camera
they're
went off.
starting. Throughout the bear market, things get quiet, right? Like throughout all Discord channels in crypto, not a lot of activity. Everyone leaves. No one's interested, right? Well, now this rally's going on. People are starting to get more interested. People want to start investing, right? I see questions like, should I buy now? Do you think we'll see below 40K? Do you think we'll see 50K, right? So people get excited, but it's like, they come in, they're like, what can I do? I only have this much. I want to leverage it up. I want to make the most out of make the most I can, even like in some concentrated liquidity, uh, specific channels. They'll come in and say, I have this much money. I want to generate 100% in yield. What if I make my pools extremely tight and just generate 100% in yield? Will this work? Will this be good for the bull market? And it's like, they come in excited, right? And soon, especially with that excitement, if they don't have any guidance and they just go into the markets trying to, try their hand, most of the time they either underperform or even lose, right? And these are the type of events and losses that keep people away from the market, right? Like if they lose, especially if they don't have a high risk tolerance, they start playing high risk type of strategies, leveraging up, and then they're just like, you know what, markets are rigged. This is not for the normal person, right? They're just out to get me, right? And all these excuses come out, right? And just that slow and steady. Even in crypto, you could be slow and steady nowadays. You could just invest in Bitcoin, DCA. If you're not a trader, especially if you're busy, if you got a business, or you got other things, or you work, right? I say don't take your nest egg and try to become like a trader and quit your job, right? Or whatever it is. I know we see these crazy stories on Twitter of people making millions off of a couple $1,000, right? But what people don't see is the graveyard filled with failed traders, right? Or people that just, not even traders, just people that have failed in investing, right? Because they don't understand the fundamentals or understand, how to just manage their money, right? So it's just very important to understand, build the boring thing first, right? Build the long-term portfolio, invest in it, put monthly flows into it. And then once you have that going and you have a good nest egg to just kind of be like, okay, I have this going, it's running along, everything's churning, then you could try your hand at trading, right? Like when I started, I didn't start out that way. I started out the same way. I had a job, back in 2009, trading stocks, penny stocks, right? So I totally get it, but it's definitely difficult. And You know, anybody that asks me like, hey, you know, should I become a full-time trader, or like should I do this, or should I make the leap? And I'm just like, if I had to do it all over again, I don't know if I would have became a trader, right? It's just kind of like it's a very difficult endeavor, right? There's times where it's like, for me, like I mainly swing trade, right? I hold positions for long periods of time, and in
Same.
a bear market, there's nothing really to do. So there's not a lot of money in that, right? So you got to live off savings. You got to, it's like a feast or famine type of a scenario, right? And I just feel like what I would tell my younger self is, you know, you're probably better off investing your money. You know, in 2009, imagine how the price you could have got Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, right? Like you could have made, you could have just invested in those assets, in those in the FANG stocks, and made a shit ton of money and just
Yeah.
sat in, right? You didn't even have to trade them. And like I would say, you know, you're better off going off and starting a business and then just invest passively and then let the money do its thing. And then you take your energy and focus on something else, right? Or focus on other things that, you know, provide people value, right? And help other people, whether it's like, you know, working a job, educating people, or like, you know, whatever it is, man. It's just kind of like trading is such a it's a skill that's like you do it, but then it's like you put all that energy into it, but that energy is done at the end of the day. Or that energy, it doesn't like compound and like, you know, help other people, right? So that's why when like past couple of years I was like, you know, like I'm doing this trading, but what if I was to die today? You know, what would be, you know, what would I leave behind, right? Like, well, I didn't really do much to, you know, like try to change or help people, like as far as like, you know, maybe I could put this knowledge and experience out there to help others to see what I see, right? Or understand, like, you know, there's a way to approach the markets, right? To avoid the pitfalls, you know. And I don't know, I'm just kind of rambling on here, but you know, that I feel like over the years, I'm just like, you know, it's better to just provide value, you know, focus on providing value and helping other people, you know. And past couple years, that's what I've been, you know, focusing on doing, and it's just more fulfilling in that manner, right? So,
They say the
but
secret to living is giving. So I'm right
yeah,
there
man,
with you. Right there with
exactly. Yeah, like during the bull market, man, I was just like, I was donating a lot of money, giving family money, you know, hooking up friends, right? And it feels good, man. And it's just like, okay, there's something here, and a lot of people out there live very selfishly, right? So it's just kind of like, you know, what can I do? This market is moving. What can I do to benefit myself, right? Like everyone's out there in the markets, especially in the markets, right? Everyone's out. It's like every man for themselves, right? But
you. Don't
you
have
know,
to be.
yeah,
I agree, man. I
yeah.
agree. Yep. They say when you give, it doesn't leave your hand; it just goes into your future, greatly multiplied. So I'm a big advocate on tithing, giving away 10% what I earn. You never know how it can affect you. So I think that's a perfect segue to put a bow on this, man. It's a great talk.
All
Appreciate you
right.
guys. Appreciate you coming on. We're gonna try to do these calls more often here, or at least as often as things change in the market. Not a lot happens in the week to week, especially under these current market conditions. So we'll adjust as we deem appropriate. So yeah, Float Locker, always appreciate you coming on. Did you want to put your shout out your socials or anything like that where people can find you?
Oh yeah, yeah. You can follow me on Twitter at float_locker. That's where I'm at. And then you know, I'm on Discord as well. Same username, float_locker. You can find me in the Crypto Owls Discord,
Know
and
it, Owls.
the Know It Owls. Yeah, the Know It Owls. And yeah, man.
Last thing, guys, if you're interested in the kind of content we were talking about, yield farming, trading, just becoming a investor so you can leave something to your next generation, click the link in the description, book a free strategy session with me. I'll talk to you, ask you questions, get a good idea of your goals, expectations, where you want to be as an investor, why you want to be an investor, so we can have everything aligned to just see if this is a good fit for you. We have released our beta platform. So if it's not a good fit, I think we'll at least be able to point you in the right direction, and at the very least, teach you a thing or two. So with that, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you on the next video.
See ya.